Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. We will start with Coach Jim Fisher. We'll ask Coach to give a brief statement, and then we'll open the floor for questions. If you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand, and we'll ask you to come off mute when it's your turn. Coach Fisher, I will turn it over to you.
All right. First, great to see everyone. Hope you have happy holidays, happy New Year. It's a great honor to be included in the Bear Bryant Coach of the Year Award finalist and be with such great coaches. But like all Coach of the Year nominees and people who get up for that, there's so many people who have a hand in that we get a lot of credit for that. But you have so many people that you have to do these kind of things and have the kind of years we had. And say a special thank you to our assistant coaches who did an outstanding job in such a tremendous and demanding year to get our players to do the right things, and not just on the field, but off the field and everything to be able to get to this point. And then also to our players to buy in such a tumultuous time in our society and what's going on and what's happening, and to not only fight through it, but to do it at such a high level and have such a very successful year for them and us here at Texas A&M. And my hat's off to them and a very special thank you. And to everybody else in our support staff. Our support staff and main coaches and players get a lot of credit, but there's so many people that it takes to run an organization, and how many things they do for us to be successful that people never hear of or never know. And special thank you to them. And so hopefully this is for a sign of bigger and better things for the future of Texas A&M, and hopefully we'll continue to build on this great season.
Okay, do I just jump in?
Yep, go ahead, Ola.
Okay, all right. Hi, Jimbo. A couple of things. First of all, beyond just finding out when games were actually going to be played, what were some of the greatest challenges to being a head football coach for A&M this year?
I think there was so much unknown, and people fear the unknown. And making sure you get as much proper information to be able to get to young men and their families and everyone involved, even your coaches, about what is going to happen, what's safe, what's not safe, and also to be able to say, sometimes we don't know, guys, and we're going to have faith in the people who were there, and to convince people that faith sometimes, because you can't see faith, and that people have the right intentions and the right things and purpose. This wasn't just a play game. This is about what we need to do and how to do things and the way to do things for yourself as a coach, yourself as a to our players, to everybody, to support staff, to everybody involved. And I think that was probably the most demanding thing, the unknown of what was the day-to-day operations and how it constantly changed, and making sure people understood that, because, once you change something once or twice, people become very untrusting about the information in which they're getting and what to do, and making sure that you distribute it the right way and to be honest about that whole purpose. And like I say, sometimes we're not going to have answers, but I think that was a big thing in making sure people still could trust and believe in the people that were in charge and how we were going to have to do things.
Travis?
Yeah. Hey, Coach. What does it mean for you to be able to have a guy like Aaron Hansford back in your linebackers? He announced back, and I don't think we ever asked what kept him out of the Orange Bowl.
Well, you think there's things. Experience is something you can't replace. Aaron is playing a lot of football. He has tremendous athletic ability, and I think he's made a very wise decision in the fact that he's incorporated a new position he hasn't played a lot. And he's learning to do it. And he has a multitude of things he can do on our defense with his knowledge, playing inside backer, being a rush guy, being a drop guy. And I think for him to improve his craft and his value going to the next level, I think it's a very smart decision. But him getting back, because you kind of get a great special teams player, you get a great drop guy, a guy can rush a passer, can play inside backer. So you like getting 3 or 4 players in one who's already been there and had tremendous experience. So from that, it's a great advantage I think it benefits us definitely. And I think it'll benefit him because of his knowledge and his ability to be ready when he goes to the next level.
And then what kept him out of the Orange Bowl?
He was not available.
Thanks.
Hey, Coach, I guess I'm up next. I wanted to ask you, let me see here. Coach, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. What I wanted to ask you is, I know that, the kind of season you guys had with only 1 loss, with all the distractions, was special. Can you talk about that? And then can you also talk about how special and unique it was for Alabama to be able to go undefeated with all the distractions and everything that they had to overcome this year as well?
Well, I think, everyone had a lot of the same things going on, and it is a great accomplishment for Alabama. Anytime you can go undefeated, period, it's a very, very tough accomplishment. I've been on 2 major Division I teams that have been able to do that from wire to wire and go through a whole season like that, and it's a very demanding, very hard thing to be able to do. And, my hat's off to him. Again, Nick does a great job. And what was your first question about us? I'm sorry, what was you saying? Can you repeat your first question? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I was asking about the fact that you guys, lost early and then you were able to get on that run, just how special that was. And the fact that you guys had to overcome, games that were postponed and then rescheduled and all that.
I think everybody went through the type of things they went through, and it's very similar. But, for our guys to understand how to win, and I think one of the greatest lessons you learn, you were in such a very critical time in this country for things that kids don't know what was going on. There was a lot of unknown. There was a lot of speculation on everything. And to be able to fight through all those things that are going on, but still do your job and do it at such a high level and to really pull yourself together. I think it's going to be lessons they're going to be able to carry throughout their life and how to deal with things, because there's going to be a lot of things in life that you don't always know the answers to it and what the outcome is going to be. And you still have a responsibility that you have to do your job that your family's counting on, your business is counting on, or somebody's counting on. And you're able to do that. You're able to prioritize, in my opinion, and compartmentalize what's important in your life and be able to function and do it at such a high level. And I think it was very special. We learned to do that, and we learned to win. I mean, we're learning to win, learn to overcome things. And we took some really important strides in our organization this year to take it to the next level and win a national championship.
Chuck?
Jimbo, you're losing some key personnel with Kellen and Buddy and most of the offensive line, but you've got a lot of talented guys who contributed back. How confident are you in being able to maintain the trajectory from this past season going into 2021?
I'm very confident. I mean, that's always going to be the case. When you have good teams, you're always going to lose good players. But I think they set a standard for how things are going to be done, and the next group who watched them will be able to step up and hopefully do the things in which they do. But I feel very confident the guys will be coming back. And again, you don't always replace those guys, but you learn from those guys and you build from those guys. And their value to our program will never be lost. And hopefully, and we owe it to them to carry on at such a high level, and our young guys do too. And I feel very confident about that. I love our team, the nucleus of our group coming back. But again, each team has a 1-year life expectancy. No team is ever together greater than 1 year. And it has to develop its identity, its work ethic, its goals, its desires, and its work habits and day-to-day habits very quickly. And that's going to be a challenge, but it's always a challenge. But I feel very confident our guys will do it because they know how to do it. And I think we still have a great, very strong nucleus of leadership coming back.
Hi, Coach Jake Asman, ESPN Houston and Sports Map Radio nationally. I'm just curious, after watching the college football playoff, obviously you guys were right there and had a chance to get in. Has your belief only increased that you guys belonged in the Final Four and deserved a chance to be in the playoff?
Again, I say this before. We felt very confident that we did before, but we should feel that way. But I'm not. There's no ill will or ill feeling. That's the choice they made. So we need to eliminate the doubt. We need to eliminate the doubt and take the doubt out of the equation and make sure we get in. But we feel very comfortable where we're going, what we're doing, that we're developing a heck of a program, got great young players, and that we feel we're going to be able to compete at that level from here on out. I really believe that. Justin.
Hey, Coach, first time around here in a while. We're going to get to see a quarterback battle. I know maybe too soon to talk about it, but just your thoughts on a new signal caller, obviously with Kellen left behind, and now going to see Zach and Haynes and those guys battle it out.
Yeah, we feel two very talented guys, and Zach and Haynes got Eli coming in. It'll be a midterm, so you got all three of those guys right there having a chance, and we'll find out who the better player is and who fits our scheme and our system and our players respond to the best. And there's three outstanding guys that we feel very confident in. And we're very blessed. And people say, well, you got a quarterback, competition. That's a good thing. That means you have multiple guys that can play and compete and have a chance to win a job and are very capable of playing at that position. So very happy about that and very excited about it. I love those. I love to see the competition and how guys compete.
If I get one quick follow-up in spring when it comes around, I know we'll talk to you before that, but when you have a quarterback competition, what does that do for the rest of the team?
It's nice. the guys don't look at it that way. They look at they're in the battle. The receivers have a competition, the tight ends have a competition, the linemen, the D linemen, the DBs, the linebackers. I mean, people know that's part of football. That's the world they live in. That there's competition, and people love it because you get to see what guys are capable of and how they handle pressure, how consistent can they be. And guys, when it's a true competition, you have guys battling each and every day. You find out about each other, and those guys love doing that. But they're not because it's the quarterbacks. But each position loves that. Each guy wants to see on that team, the guy that walks on that field with me, can he do the job we need him to do? And can I count on him each and every time? And can he handle the pressure? And I think those are great things you find out in those battles.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach. Cole Thompson from SportsMap here. Just little thoughts on Antonio Johnson. He really stepped up big in the bowl game towards the end of the season. Having a guy who can play safety, that nickel defense with how much 4-2-5 systems are building up in the college football level, what's it like to have a versatile player like that who can kind of do a little bit of everything?
Well, I think at your world, you have to play in the secondary now because secondary is about matchups. You saw it in the game the other day. When you don't get the right matchup on a guy in the slot, when he's outside, when guys move guys around, you can get eat up. And having guys that can move around and play outside, inside, they can even, can play nickel, can play safety, they can match up on slots, match up on outside guys. And some of our corners are going to have to do that. They're going to have to go in and play nickel and play back in safety position, move safeties outside when they put tight ends. I think that almost to a point, you have secondary people, but they've almost become positioned as kind of like basketball is to a point. You've got to be able to match things up. And guys like Antonio are very gifted and very talented, along with very physical in how they play the game. They're cherished, man. You can't get enough of them, that's for sure.
Sam?
Jimbo, I'm curious, how do you feel about, as you look and project your roster into next year, how do you feel about the depth of your overall team at this point?
Very great. I think we're gaining where we need to be. I think we got multiple guys, and you saw that this year playing a multitude of guys at different positions, and we won't deviate by their talents, and we'll judge their talents in spring. If we have to change and scheme something a little different, which we changed scheme from the middle of camp to the middle of the season. I mean, by guys that we had opt-outs, injuries, things that go on. And that's what I love about our system. It's adaptable. And I think it's always got to be that way for things that happen. You can't be one-dimensional. And we feel very good about the depth in which we have.
And given how unique the season was, do you have any adjustments to your off-season schedule, off-season plan, and how you'll do things this coming off-season?
No, I mean, be glad to get back to a normal one. That's for sure. Hopefully, anyway. But we don't know. Hopefully so far.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, quick follow-up. First, solid Zoom background. I like everything you have going on back there. Secondly, I know this is a crazy year as far as the transfer portal goes with the opt-outs and everything like that.
Yeah.
Is this a season that you might look more into the transfer portal to bring in some veteran guys? And do you have will you for scholarships available to that?
Well, I think the transfer portal has become a viable option right now. You always have to look at the transfer portal because of the way the rules are going. If you don't, you're hurting your own organization. If there's something there that you need, as I say, it's open free agency. That's what it's become. And but it's another tool in which you have to look and you have to evaluate whatever to get the best players on your team to be successful in any way, shape, and form. And it's something that you have to look at.
Is there any added emphasis for this season in particular, or is it just kind of the same method that you go through every year?
There'll always be. Listen, if there's players there that we think can help us and be in there and to fit our organization, fit our systems, we're definitely going to look at it. And that doesn't matter this year, next year, any other year. You have to.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take two more. We'll go Olin and then Cole.
Yeah, Jimbo, first of all, were you surprised that Jaden Peavy decided to come back? And then secondly, have you gotten any indication about what Miles Jones might do?
No, I wasn't surprised. Jaden kind of, we felt he had kind of leaned that way earlier and kind of hinted that way. So it was great to have it. I think it's a very smart decision. I think it's very good for us and him. And no, with Miles, those are decisions they'll have to make. The hair coming up, and they'll make good decisions. Miles will make a good decision, I believe, for himself. He's a very smart young man who's done a heck of a job so far. So I think his decision-making process will be weighed out, and he'll make a good one.
Coach, you look at the offensive line, there's a chance of losing 4 different starters, but Kenyon Green, coming out of high school, was a left tackle. Do you have any plans of just moving him from guard to the outside, or potentially just playing the best 5 available for your offensive line next year?
You play the best 5, and you always look around, and you want guys who can play multiple positions. You hate to get linemen that can only play one position. And that's the way we recruit. And we'll figure out what the best 5 is and when we have to put them, and we'll do it accordingly. He can play center. Kenyon can play center, he can play guard, and he can play tackle. So wherever he needs to be put, he'll be put, I promise you. And he loves every bit of it.
Thanks so much, Coach Fisher. Congratulations on a great season. Good luck with the Bear Bryant Award tonight.
Thank you very much.